Okay, so I'm Grasswalker. Hello and welcome back to Group D of the Dota 2 2022 Bot Masters. We butchered that a little bit, but we'll keep it. We're 7 takes in to starting this video, so I'm going to take that one. On the Radiant side, we have Pub Support Simulator, who is unfortunately 0-1 in this group so far, and they're against the default hardbots, who are 1-0 in the group. This is a great chance for Pub Support Simulator to start equalising the group back in their favour. It's also a great chance for the default hardbots to keep up with Sirius. So let's get this lobby going and see how the picks shape this game. I didn't think actually about the little loading screens. I just have it set random to every single one I have. If you want to give me a loading screen, I won't say no to that. I love free stuff, and I will never say no to free stuff, unless it's bad free stuff. Like if you're trying to give me a bag of dog shit, I'm going to be like, no thanks, I don't want that. And you'll be like, but actually, you said you liked free stuff.
Luna.
Picks are in. We already know what Pub Support Simulator is going to pick. They're going to pick Luna, Crystal Maiden, Bloodseeker, Bristleback, and I think it's Oracle. These 5 heroes are scripted in the Pub Support Simulator to create an environment in which you're supposed to play against to practice your support skills. It's not actually supposed to be playing full games. It's just a laning stage test bot. However, that can prove interesting. Opposing them, we have the default hardbots, who has gone for a mixed bag of heroes. We've got Tiny Drow in the offlane. That is not where I would have put these heroes. It looks like we've got a Lina mid, and then Necrophos supporting a Chaos Knight. First things first, this is incredibly greedy. You do not have a genuine, real support hero on this team. Yeah, Tiny 4 exists. People play it. Yeah, Necro 5 kind of exists, but it also sort of doesn't. You've got 5 very greedy heroes on the Dire lineup, but at least they have normal-ish cores. Chaos Knight in the safe lane? That's very normal. That's in fact quite good right now. Lina mid? More than acceptable. Drow offlane, that's the question mark. That's a very strange hero to put in the offlane. Maybe the default hardbots know something that we don't. They might be aware that, for example, Luna Crystal Maiden, I mean, it's not an easy lane to lane against, but maybe Drow is what you want to put there. We've got heroes running into each other. Immediate right clicks onto the Drow. She's already at half. The blast. We're looking at first blood here. Avalanche on 2, but I don't know if it can save her. She's dead. This is not the lane Drow wants. And a couple of clicks on the Tiny. And because of this damage aura, Tiny's half too. Freya's going to have to TP out. Gets blasted. They're lucky they TP'd base. There's a chance that if you're in a situation like that, you think about TPing to the tower. If they'd done that, it would have been a disaster. Oracle and Bristle more than happy to man up as the Quill sprays continue to build up. Click Quill, click Quill. Every second you don't click Quill is a second you are throwing this little fight. And he's letting them expire. He sells, but he gets cancelled, and Oracle's bricked on the stairs. What's going on? Oracle, chance for a double courier kill here. Bristle, he baits the hardbots under the tier 2, and that's the death of the Chaos Knight. Oracle bricked fully. Even the courier doesn't wake him up. This bodes poorly
Has been killed.
for Pub Support Simulator. Necrophos kills. Necrophos's courier, dies. Not sure how that goes. I mean, the Oracle is bricked. This is a disaster. This means that you're 1 hero down already. Bloodseeker, he's struggling to lane against the Lina. CS beginning to pull away from him. 4-1 to 7-3, and it's not getting better. Lina misses that one though, so maybe it is going to get better. Bristle might not be unhappy about this bricked Oracle, because there's one thing Bristleback loves, and that is levels. Every level that this hero has, he gets twice as good. And up comes the bristleback. Meanwhile, they're going in on the tiny. They've already sent Drow back to base again.
Bring them winter, Crystal
And they just
Maiden.
push the tiny out of the lane. Up support simulator crushing bottom lane, but only in terms of damage. Their CS is non-existent. They just ignore that CS right there. Creeps on an adventure. I don't know what those creeps were doing. Weird chase occurring. They've unbricked the Oracle. 3 heroes chasing Oracle. Can they land the Lightning Strike Ray? That's their only chance to kill Oracle. Oh, Oracle shows their face, baiting the Lina. Lina wants to get the right clicks on. We've already missed a kill on the Necrophos, so let's hope that this Oracle dies so that we can at least pretend that we traded a kill for a kill. Oracle just needs to walk to the fountain. He keeps leaving the base and tanking damage, and he's looking like he might genuinely die. Now, finally, he decides to commit to not going to the fountain. Oracle's bricked. This is busted. Luna bumps into a Drow, but she's not quite as easy to kill as she was before. Crystal Maiden getting the solo farm in the safe lane whilst Luna dances on the bounty rune. I mean, as long as somebody's farming, it's better. But you would really rather have this money and levels on the Luna. CS is kind of bad across the board. Everything keeps zooming in and out for some reason. I don't know why that's happening. I'm not doing that. Luna going in on the Drow. She's quite low. Picks a weird path to TP away to, but it works out. Catch the Oracle dying. Just barely. Bristle too low to help. Just needs to use his salve and go back to the lane. Kind of getting the worst of both worlds here. Bloodseeker left alone for a second. That gives him a couple of CS, which also lets him heal up. And all of a sudden he's kind of having an okay lane. 10 and 7 to what should be now 9 and 6. These are the equal lanes, so mids ended up even. Top lane, it's hard to say who this favours because nobody's farming. Necro Tiny, 6 CS between them. Bristle has 1. Like, I guess the Dire is getting more out of this lane, but it's like 200 gold. In terms of XP, it's all on the Bristle, none is on the Oracle, whereas Dire has split it half and half. Bristle grabs 2 CS just then. Won't be disappointed with that. And Drow is not laning bottom. She's having an awful time. And she has 5 CS, which is more than the Luna, but she keeps getting punched out of the lane. Ooh, might die again here. Crystal Maiden too far away to land the blast. Just a little bit of the Cold Embrace. Not Cold Embrace, what's it called? Frostbite. Cold Embrace is Winter Wyvern. Wyvern or Wyvern? I think it just depends on where in the world you're from, actually. Let's see if he gets a chance to hang out in an empty lane, but he uses that to jungle a small camp, and now Lina's back. This does give the Bloodseeker the benefit of experience. Lina 4.5, Bloodseeker 5.25. Both of them dancing on staircases. Thinking about getting the runes. Let's see where it spawns. Somebody's going to lose out. It's a 50-50 gamble. My money's on Lina.
Regeneration.
I got it. Lina picks up the regen. Oh no, it's Crystal Maiden. This isn't your neighborhood. Oh, even the Drow comes to finish her off, and that's 3 heroes picking off the CM.
More like Crystal Melt.
Luna lands the Lucent Beam, but she needs to run for her life. She's doing a bit too much dancing in the trees. Thankfully, the Die Heroes stopped their chase. A toss could have been on the menu. Bristle facing off against the Necro, but it's Oracle that's healing the Necro. So maybe the Bristle was glad that the Oracle was bricked on the stairs if he's just going to sit there and heal the enemy heroes. I want to see the net worth. Nobody's farming well. So it's about who's getting the most. And Luna is actually top of the net worth, despite being way in the bottom of the last hits. And I would attribute that to the fact that they haven't died. They got first blood. So a couple of things they got going from Bristle. Just needs to click one more quills and he would have had a kill. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Bristle might find him anyway. But the quill stacks are all gone now. And now he's healed himself up. Now you're chasing Bristle. It's too late. You missed your chance. Luna struggling to farm up under the tower. It is awkward to farm under the tower. I do feel for them. CM's like, I'll just blast it. Don't worry about it. Now, getting a right click onto the CM. Lucent Beam onto the Tiny. Meanwhile, Bristle chasing this Necro. Good kill onto him. Chaos Knight's on the run next. Minus Armor and Quills stacking up. Meanwhile, CM, she could Crystal Nova him to get the slow, and Luna could also Lucent Beam him. With that, I think he'd be dead. Unfortunately, they just don't commit to getting that kill.
Invisibility.
Luna now, they found the Drow. Crystal Maiden, if she puts that blast. Frostbite, cancel the TP. They don't even need it.
Clearly not.
Another kill onto the Drow. Drow now 0-2. Bottom of the net worth in the entire game. We see the economy continue to favour Pub Support Simulator. And they really want this win. They don't want to be 0-2 in the groups. They don't want to go home. Oh, wow. Luna and CM get the kill on the Tiny. I didn't expect that. Apologies for missing it. I mean, at this point, we're 20 games casted, and you know I'm going to be missing kills. You knew what you signed up for when you clicked this video to watch it. There's only so much that I can promise. Chaos Knight standing on the rune spot, but it's 9 minutes. It's not an even number. No rune's going to spawn. Lena finds the CM. Laguna is available. Laguna hits for 500. CM has 480 health. Factor in the magic resistance. Where does it all stand? Now she's definitely killable. Lena's a lot faster. Reluctant to use this Laguna, though. She's like, I don't want to Laguna a Crystal Maiden. I want to run up and Lightning Strike her, but she gets nothing in the end. It's Oracle that dies. Bloodseeker is ruptured up the Necro, which means he can just right-click that guy down. It's a 1-for-1, and that favours the Radiant side. Because Bloodseeker does a lot more with money than... who got the kill? Chaos Knight. Actually, no, that's a pretty even trade, really. Chaos Knight loves having money. Bloodright way off the mark. That was... I mean, do you really expect the Lena to run up like this there? Arcane Rune. Bloodseeker picks that up. I think Arcane Rune lasts 30 seconds, give or take. CM takes it. I ping this? See how long it has left? No. Lena and Tiny, they're both bottom. Use all of their spells to clear out the creeps. Luna under the tower? Get out of there. Bristle splitting 3 heroes apart. He's level 6. Does he have his Vanguard? No, he doesn't really have anything. I'm surprised he's getting away with that. Mid, Bloodseeker wants to use his Rupture. Lena wants to use a Laguna Blade. Avalanche on 3. Toss onto 3 as well. Bloodseeker's running in. He's trying to man fight, but he's a little bit too low. Frost Nova onto 2. Oracle looks like he might be the sacrifice. The rest of Radiant can survive if they don't go back in. Bloodseeker needs to kill these creeps so that he heals.
Deepest thanks.
Pops another salve. He keeps chaining salves together. That's not helping his net worth, but he is still number 2 on the leaderboard. Rupture was used. Whoever it was on didn't care, because it had no effect. Now pushing the tier 1 mid, and they're doing great damage to it, I'm surprised. Bristle more than happy to man up on the Necro under the tower, because every time the tower hits him, it gets closer to a Bristleback popping. However, when Lena gets here, that's the key to leave, because the Laguna Blade, that can pop the Bristle. 4 Dire Heroes ruminating at the bottom rune spot. It's going to be 5 when Tiny gets here.
Regeneration.
Regen, picked up by the Drow. I think that's the worst hero that could have had it. Does nobody have a bottle? Oracle stops the Tiny in his tracks. Bloodseeker, he's about to get a huge blood right onto 4. Ruptures the Chaos Knight, but he doesn't need to move. It's the Crystal Maiden, all of the world! Stuns onto her, cancels it off though. Frost Blast though does finish off the Chaos Knight.
And that's a cold.
The tower, it's hitting the creep wave. I'd love to see it switch onto the Lena. 1 hit more, and they bait her in.
My
Well, the Crystal Maiden lives. Drow diving the tower. The tower's still hitting creep somehow. Avatos on the bristle, but oh my god, that Drow got clubbed to death. Finally, the tower starts hitting the heroes. Just in time for Tiny to get lower and lower and lower. 1 more right click, and he's got a double kill on the bristle. Radiant side beginning to pull this game away from the default hardbots, who are 1-0 in the group so far. Woof.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Woof indeed. Lena TP's mid. She doesn't want to let them get that tier 1 tower. Oh my gosh, Bloodright silences the Lena. She's just right click down. They're just balling in. Avalanche, it's off the mark. They rupture the Tiny. Bristle's diving the tier 2 whilst the rest of the team cleans up the Tiny. Toss onto the Bloodseeker. Oh, the tower, it's hitting the Oracle. Bristle gets that kill, runs in, thinks of cleaning up the Tiny, but he wants the tower. That's gaudy. Oracle does die.
Dire's bottom tower has
Bristle
fallen.
on the run. Frost Arrow is not going to slow him enough. Avalanche way off the mark. Bristle baiting them under the tier 1. Default hardbots are way overextending here. This Drow has nothing to protect herself. The Bristle will just run you down. He's got what he thinks is a drum and cleans that up.
You should have back down, son.
Oh, Bristle accidentally gets himself a Possessed Mask. This is huge. First neutral item in the game, and it's going to give Bristle an extra... What is it? 20 health per strength?
Dire's structures
That's an
are
extra
fortified.
140 health, and he's going to lifesteal. That might help the Bristle snowball. I'd guess that his net worth is closer to 5,500 with that
Dire's
Possessed
middle
Mask in his
tower
possession.
has fallen.
Bloodright just catches the Tiny. It's huge. He's immediately dead. Now they're diving onto the Lena, and they're just diving them. Like it just hits so hard with the minus armor and 3 physical damage heroes. Luna completely shit the bed on her Eclipse, but it doesn't matter. 4 Radiant heroes on top. Direbot's getting crushed. Necro shows his face. You have to imagine if there was a rupture, they would have just ruptured him right then and there. Chaos Knight finds CM, but she's like, listen up, son. I don't give a shit. She should, because she's getting right-clicked down quite a lot. This might just be a very casual solo kill for the Chaos Knight. Stun up in a second, or he can just run her down. She's so slow. Meanwhile, maybe it was all just a bit of a space creation. CM's like, I don't offer anything to the push, so what I'm going to do... Bloodright's awful! In comes the dive. Avar onto 3. Dragon Slave onto 3. Oracle gives the Bristle the ability to ignore the entire world, but is he going to pop when that ends? It looks like he got Laguna, so he's definitely going to pop. Now the... Oh, Necro... Oh, it's a team wipe! And the tower's only just below half. Valve default bots. That is not the fight recap. That's CM dying. Valve default hard bots. Pulling that fight out of their ass. 2,500 gold swing. We're going to see it on this graph. Boom! Straight back in the game. They deathball mid, which means they're hoping to get another 200 gold a person when they kill the tower. I don't know if towers are still worth that, but they used to be. 90
Radiant's
each?
middle tower has fallen.
Alright, killing towers got nerfed loads. Bloodseeker, he ruptures someone, but they don't care, because they'll just man up and fight him. Avar onto 2. And it's a massacre. Hub Support Simulator really not respecting the 5-man. You can't go in like that. 1 and 2v5. Bristle might be able to, though. Stun onto the Bristle. They're all hitting his back, which is causing the Bristle, but he turns! It's a disaster! Their entire lead is gone! And the hardbots just claws it all back. Luna's doing nothing, she's just running around with half a drum. She's about to run in, I think, Eclipse. But the problem is that going to work? And the answer's no. She's lucky it killed the Necro because the Lucent Beams do hit randomly. Now Bloodseeker's going in 1v4, they're just feeding the entire lead that they've given. It's gone. CM next to fall, Chaos Knight drags it back in, and now the lead is on the other side of the map. The hard bot. Oh no! Hub support simulator has thrown everything away. There was a moment when they had 4 heroes top of the net worth and no one on the Dire side was even remotely close.
Illusion.
Now I think they might have just missed their window. Because Dire has such a greedy draft that you can't let them get away with it. But they've gotten away with it and now they're ahead going into the mid game. 20 minutes in, and it's just under a K gold lead. Bloodright way off the mark. Luna continuing to chase. Rupture. There it is. Force Staff hurts when you're ruptured. Look out. Lena, she's dead. Excellent pick off by Pub Support Simulator. Now that they're playing as 4, they might have an avenue back into this game. Bristle hunting the Chaos Knight. I think this is an easy solo kill for him. The slows, the quills. Chaos Knight lucky to escape there. I think he was 1 second from disaster. Bristle pushing the bot tier 2. Gets a TP from the Tiny. You can only imagine TP into the Ava. That's where it goes. Toss onto the Bristle, but he's so tanky. He's not that tanky though. He doesn't have like Vanguard. He doesn't have Crimson Guard. He doesn't really have anything. Just a Mithril Hammer in his stash. What he does have is speed. He is fast. 5 Dire heroes right next to each other. This is so dangerous for the Radiant side who's pushing the tier 2. Tier 2 at least dies to start the fight. But already the Crystal Maiden's dead. Avatos, that kills the Luna. Oracle, he ults himself. Ah. Now that person is dead. Bloodseeker better not go in there. Bloodseeker goes in there. He's silenced, he's pulled in with a Chaos Knight, and he's dead.
Now that you're
Oh
dead,
dear.
I find it easy to
It's a 5v4 and they just clean him up with ease. They were too busy fighting the tower. Bloodseeker, you even saw him, he had to run in, get the last hit on the tower before he could start fighting. That's not how you get towers. You don't just deathball a tower and feed all of your team. You do this. You get a good fight, you kill 4 heroes, and afterwards, that's when you push the tier 2. But now, all of the Radiant heroes are up. CM gets forced in! Beautiful use of the Force Staff by Lena, puts her way out of position. Bristle, Laguna bursted. In comes the Lucent Beams from the Eclipse, though. This could be a massacre. It doesn't do quite as much as they hope. Rupture is on the Lena. She's dead too now, but it's a 2 for 1. Ooh, it's not. Double kill for the Oracle.
So predictable.
It's like they stole that with the Purifying Flames right at the end. 2 for 3 there. I won't count the CM, she was more of a pick-off before the fight began, but 1k gold swinging the way of Radiant. Radiant seems eager to push. Ow. Luna not aware she's being hunted by this Tiny.
Blessings upon a
Tiny
loyal
punch, Ava, toss. Oh, that nearly one-shots the Luna. Tiny's more than willing to come back in with his blink. Luna realizes, oh yeah, I need to get out of dodge. Bloodseeker's pushing mid, but this mid push has not worked. Historically, this has not been a good move for the Radiant side. And right now, they don't have Luna, and they don't have Bristle. Those are the 2 heroes that matter the most on the Radiant side.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
They might find this Lena as she defends the wave. You have the opportunity for a Rupture. Give it the Rupture. Give it the Rupture. You're just letting her walk. Okay, there's the Rupture. CM ult. Easy kill onto the Lena, but now Avatos on the Bloodseeker is low. Oracle ult. Do they have any form of healing? Oracle could be healing him now. I think Bloodseeker lives, but the CM likely to die. Oracle roots them both. They're melee heroes. They can't attack when they're rooted. Ava, though, keeps the CM behind. Oracle is going to slow this Chaos Knight, root him up. They tossed the Chaos Knight back onto this Oracle. Ooh, Duke's in the trees. They are melee heroes. They're a little bit fat and slow, but they will eventually get that kill. Top tower. That's the real prize. Permanent building damage on the map. The Siege Wagon also dealing unhealable permanent damage to buildings. That's going to keep trucking until all of these 3 melee groups are dead. So it looks like maybe 1600 health is where this is going to end up. Because throw one more after this. 1580. Sorry, we missed our Lena kill. We're too busy watching the wagon doing a push. Lena pickoff is great for Pub Sport Simulator, but this pickoff is awful for them. Bristle feeds away a kill. Luna bouncing the glaives, but you do not want to stay here for long. The entire Dire squad is running top. Nah, the blink from the Tiny. She knows she's being chased. If Tiny could toss her back into his team, it'd be a massacre. Frost Arrow might be the deal breaker, and it is. Luna popped. Both sides so capable of picking each other off. There's so much damage flying around in these fights. Everyone has huge burst. Tiny now hunting the Oracle. Avatos onto the Oracle. A couple punches. No detection though. Rupture. They're fighting the Tiny. He's silenced. Oracle needs to be doing something.
This'll come in handy.
Oracle could disarm this Tiny. Maybe there's an opportunity. Fighting an invis. The bots use these shadow amulets so well. Because they can cast it instantly. And they know exactly when the fade is to stop moving. Bots picking up shadow amulet is very cheeky. So, the throw and the counter throw. No one has a rack, so this game is dead even as far as what matters is concerned. Bristle goes in, he's got the BKB, he can clean up the Tiny, but it's the Luna, she's stunned forever. She doesn't have Eclipse right now. Huge Blood Right, the Bloodseeker is running 1,000,000 miles an hour. Teleport onto the CK, but the minus armor combined with the right clicks, that's the end of that. They know this Tiny is here. I would love to see the Bloodseeker have chased this down and got that kill, but it isn't a 2-for-1. Make it that 3-for-1. Oracle playing Bring Around the Rosie with the Necrophos, but that's not a game you want to play, Oracle. Then again, she's just rooting him here, ready for the rupture of the Bloodseeker. It was all part of the bigger plan. And this Necro has to be dead, and he is. Dominating Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker about 800 gold from his BKB, and that's a game changer. Crystal Maiden solo killing the Tiny almost. She just needs to click the rest of her spells. If you give him the Frostbite Nova ult, he will die. Instead, Avatos puts her low. But the Bristle's here now. Uncle Bristle, don't talk to me or my daughter ever again. Keep your hands off of her. And he clubs her down. Do this for your 5 pauses. If you're a Bristle, just run across the map to save him. Love it. Bristle now. Feeling tanky. Crown, gloves, BKB phase bracer. It's not the best item build I've ever seen, but the bracer did just double in effectiveness. Ooh, Chaos Knight with a dangerous TP there. They've got a wagon for this push. Tiny's dead. What's the defense gonna look like? Bristle more than happy to dive in. BKB's up. He's burning very quickly down. The rest of his team not really here helping. Luna comes in, it's a huge Blood Right onto 3. They give the Oracle ult to the Bristle, and it's the Eclipse. It cleans it all up. Bristle pops because the Oracle ult expires, but 3 dead heroes means that this Bloodseeker can clear out this tower if he wants to. He's chosen not to. If they glyph right now, it would be a huge play.
It was worth it.
Ah, letting the wagon die. It's a horrific disaster. Luna is a hero that clears out buildings like no other because these glaives bounce. As soon as this tower falls, the glaives bounce between buildings. And it goes all through these 5. Here she is, gloves of attack, backpacked in. And look at these glaives. They're bouncing around now. It hits all 6 buildings, sorry. So all you have to do is hit the melee racks, and you get the ranged racks, and you get some of the creeps, and you get decent damage on the tier 4s. It's not bad damage. The racks has fallen. Anything else now is gravy. The stun's onto 2. Bloodseeker and Luna pop their BKBs. Do they have a way out of here? Luna should really TP out now. Bloodseeker running for his life. Avatos, he's dead. But they got the racks, and all it cost them was 1 kill. Now they're pushing bot. Yeah, that's a little bit too greedy. They do heal up the Luna with a bottle. But there's all the team running in now. Chaos Knight, he wants to Reality Rift, pull her back. Gets a stun, she starts right-clicking, but that's not going to work out in the end. Luna, dead. Let's see how much damage Hub Support Simulator's Raxing will deal over the course of the game. Some bots, they don't like defending. Some bots, they don't like pushing. Bristle chasing in on the Line. BKB's up. He's immune to all of her spells now. CM, though, under the Lightning Strike Ray forced in. Bristle kills 1. But that's the whole squad that's on him. Listen, Hyperstone is not going to help you survive. If Bristle had gone for something more like Vanguard BKB, and then, I mean, that's all he would really be able to afford, right? Because he's got half of what he thinks is a drum and a Hyperstone. Vanguard, I think, costs 1800 gold, which is the same as the Hyperstone, so if he had like 2 braces of Vanguard and the BKB, maybe he lives there and he's tanky enough, but he's gone for like a punching build. Bloodseeker gets jumped. Has to BKB just to run. The tower's hitting the team, but you're in the late game now. The towers don't matter so much. Eclipse is popped. It's mostly on heroes. I'd love to see a Blood Right, but the Bloodseeker dies before he casts anything. No Rupture either. Ooh, Shadow Amulet on the Luna saves her life. CM with the ult. That might be enough to finish off this Tiny. Ooh, he blinks out just in time. Luna runs on the low ground. That's dangerous. Necro could ult any of you at any second. How are they going to hold this? CM. Ooh, into the Shadow Amulet, but does die. She reveals herself for a moment. Luna clears out the 1 creep. They really need to de-push this. Luna does not want to chase this. This is an awful chase right here. They turn on her, she dies. Bay Grenade found for the Bristle. I'm not sure where he got it from, but if anyone's going to accidentally do jungling, it's going to be the Bristle. Oracle almost with a solo kill on the Lina. It looks like he's got it. Never mind, the heal. Too much. I mean, if he kept chasing, he would have that solo kill. That would be baller. Enemy Lina on the mid never really became a core. And that's the problem with a greedy lineup like this. Like, you've got Tiny farming, you've got Necro farming. They're meant to be your 2 supports, and they're the highest net worth heroes in the game for their side. Bloodseeker, why is he so fast? Oh, it's the Lina. Lets him rotate top. But maybe he gets top a bit too early. An okay Blood Right. Catches it onto 2. He BKBs. He puts the Rupture down. Getting right-clicked. It hurts a lot. He is going to die, but everyone's out of position now. They're under the tier 1. CM gets right-clicked. Next is Bristle on the right-clicks. All of the Dire heroes are still at full. How is that the case? They took almost no damage in that whole fight.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Oracle turning up with nothing to offer. Default hard bots. Looking like they are not out of this game. The throws and the counter throws continue. Gold lead in their favour now. Lena pushing out the super creeps. While 3 heroes take a tier 2 top. You have to imagine
Radiant's top
that
tower
if the
has fallen.
dire side commits to trying to take this top Brax, as all of the heroes are respawning, this will be bad for them. Bloodright, it's going to silence 3. All they can do is right click. The CM ult's out. They can't cancel it whilst they're silenced. Bloodseeker is running out. He's got bonus attack speed. He's got the rupture. He's stunned though. He's got no armor. And he's dead. Her root comes out. Luna, she's fighting a couple of illusions. But really, she needs to finish this Tiny. She runs out of the base even further, but that's not going to help. Here comes the Eclipse. Let's see what that can do. Not very much, to be honest. It just sort of puts people low. Another root comes out. Atos on the CM. Huge pickup for her. And because of that, they get the Chaos Knight kill. It's a 1-for-1. But I don't know if that's what you wanted from a huge defense like that. Gold in the pockets of the Luna, at least. Also just has a Hyperstone. What is the casual Hyperstone for? What are they working on? Let me in, your bot brain. Tiny's working on a Scythe or a Shivers. It's hard to tell right now. Lena chasing down Crystal Maiden. Wants to kill her sister. Fire versus Frost. Who's going to win? It's the one that was the core. Never mind, Tiny steals it.
Sorry, sister.
Oh,
but
no,
you need
Lena did get it.
thawing.
Drow, she's got Manta now. Ags on the Necro, that's juicy. Ags on the Necro, when I hover over it talks about nasal goo. I guess because I'm not hovering as his hero. There we go.
Radiant's bottom
Ags on the
tower
Lena,
has
that's
fallen.
juicy. Casual Hyperstones, I don't see what their purpose is. It's not going to help them win the game. Outpost claimed, but they're about to be raxed. Drow and Lena, both excellent push heroes. They both hit the buildings hard and fast. And you're running here, but what about your TP scrolls? You've got 8 of them, put some of them to use. There goes the tower, and here goes the racks. Default hardbots didn't need a 5-man wipe to get their racks. They just sort of run into the base and take them. Up support
Radiant's
simulator,
bottom barracks has
caught
fallen.
sleeping.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
I do not know why you're 3-manning mid. You've already got that lane of racks. That's not where you need to be. Meanwhile, 4 Dire Heroes are coming to meet them. 4 staff in. The Luna comes in. She's got the Eclipse going. Bloodseeker's BKB as well. Lena's dead early. That bodes well, but Tiny, the Avatos, kills off the Luna. Bloodseeker, his magic immunity ends, but he gets a kill on a Necro that heals him up. Oracle. She roots the Drow, but immediately dies. Bristle pops his BKB, but he can't 1v4. Crystal Maiden, stuck on defense duty, wasn't there for the fight. And it's not really a great fight for either side, as we can see. It's about even. So when you get a fight like this that's about even, it comes down to what can you do on the map. And we've got 3 Die Heroes trying to deathball mid. That's something good you can do on the map. Bristleback, finding a pig pole. That's something good you can do on the map, because now, whoever respawns, maybe it's the Luna, maybe it's the Bloodseeker. I mean, Bloodseeker's already got one. Maybe it's the Luna. She picks up the pig pole, and all of a sudden she has +6 to all stats. That's the best part of an ultimate orb almost. +10 to all stats. You got like 1,000 gold worth of an item from that pig pole. Is anyone going to pick it up?
Haste
Oracle? Fuck's sake.
at last.
I'm getting more and more judgmental of the teams as the tournament goes on. Bristle stunned. He's racking up quills onto the Chaos Knight. This Chaos Knight is huge. He's got Yasha Heaven's Halberd. He's running away with a Haste Rune. Oh, they jump in on the Bristle. This looks like a dead Bristle. I don't know where his Hyperstone's gone, but he doesn't have it anymore. Bloodseeker ruptures the Tiny, who's like, okay, I will stand still then. Hex comes out from the Tiny, and now Bloodseeker is dead. What is Bristleback's item setup? Like, where did his Hyperstone go? Did he just sell his Hyperstone? Is it on the floor? Is it on his courier? I don't get where his Hyperstone went. He bought it. I thought it was going to be an AC.
Radiant's top
Default
barracks
hard bots
has fallen.
cleaning up the base
Radiant's
now.
top barracks has fallen.
Looks like they are not letting this game slip away from them. Default medium bots, I believe, was eliminated from the tournament already. Crystal Maiden, absolutely bursted. So when default medium bots is sent home, you have to imagine that the default hard and the default unfair bots sort of want to avenge their fallen brother. And this game looks as good as over. So good for so long, and then Hub Support Simulator, the longer the game goes on, the less they understand. They're a bot created to help you learn how to lane. So they might not have anything for the late game, and there goes your Bloodseeker, right click down by 7 CKs to begin hitting the tier 4s. Oh, Bristle, Hexed, Silence, toss the illusion in. The illusion's hitting him from the front, but the damage is all coming from the rear.
Chill out.
It's a team wipe, give or take. 4 heroes died, the recap's not quite accurate on that
Radiant's
one.
middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Here looks to be GG. The Valve's default hard bots.
Radiant's middle tower
They ascend
has
to be 2-0 in the groups, which means whoever faces off between the hard bots and Sirius and
Radiant's
takes
middle
that win will be your
has fallen.
group winner,
Radiant's
and
middle
whoever
tower
loses that
has
game will
fallen.
be
The
group
Dire
second
now
place.
have mega creeps.
Whilst the other group, well, the other two teams are going to compete to see who's going home.
Illusion.
Dire
And there the ancient pops. Oof. What a game. It felt like it was winnable by Pub Support Simulator for the first 24 minutes. They got the first racks. They had everything going for them. It just never materialized. I think your MVPs, it has to go to Bristleback. That guy was doing a great job getting kills. He shut down the Drow. She was the lowest net worth hero in the entire game after the laning stage. On the other hand of things, who do we give it to? It looks like it belongs to the Chaos Knight on raw stats alone. I mean, the guy was involved in 43 of the 50 kills. I think from that, it's the Chaos Knight. No warding from either side. The information was poor, and you can only act on the information you have. Chaos Knight running around. He had all the kills and assists, but he didn't really do that much damage in the end. But he did drag people back a lot with the reality rifts, get some good stuns off, and I never felt like... I was looking at Chaos Knight and I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing? He is feeding right now. Bristleback, most hero damage in the whole game, let down a little bit by his team. Bristleback, a hero that's had great success in this tournament so far. It's won, I think, 4 games. It's lost 1 or 2 games, but even in the games it's lost, like this one, the Bristle's not at fault. It's not Bristle's fault this game was lost. That guy had a great game. If there were 5 Bristles, I think it would have been a solid win. Big problem for the Radiant side was they did not transition into building items. Bristle had this inventory at something like 18 to 20 minutes. He failed to build a drum, then he bought a Hyperstone, and then that was it. He sold the Hyperstone. Like, his items did not develop for a long time. You got triple BKB, which is nice, got double ATOS, which is fun, but it's not going to carry you for the game when the enemy is building real items. Scythe, Manta, another Manta, you got a casual Reaver, Ags on the Necro. You need more than that. You can see laning stage begins to favour Hub Support Simulator, which makes sense because it's a laning bot. Mid-game, sort of the early to mid-game, they really begin building up. Huge throw towards the mid-game. They lost a bunch of fights in a row. Default hard bots just barely claws it back in. And then PSS is like, no, actually, we're going to start taking this game again. They get the racks, and then that's it. They never have a good moment after that. If we have a look at the items, we can see sort of the problem of this game. You've got very active early game items in the laning, and then Bloodseeker, for example. After about 14 minutes, when he finishes his phase at 11, he picks up a couple random items that he thinks is a drum. So you got phase at 11, and he doesn't finish his BKB till 27 minutes, and then he buys a Hyperstone. So how long was this game? 39 minutes. So Bloodseeker didn't really do anything for the next 28 minutes after this 11-minute mark. In that 28 minutes, he got a BKB. That's it. And you've got the same story for Luna. She finishes her treads at 9 minutes, BKB at 27, and then buys 2 Hyperstones. It looks like that's what Bristle did. He must have eaten a Moon Shard. That's what must have happened. You've got Bristle. He finishes his phase boots at 11 minutes, BKB at 24. That's actually kind of fine. Eats a Moon Shard, but what are you doing? You're not getting anywhere. You're not developing anything. You're not achieving anything. Crystal Maiden, at least, follows an order. Bottle, Bracer, Boots, Arcanes, casual Shadow Amulet to escape things, works towards the Atos, gets the Atos, grabs Assange, clearly working on a Halberd, it seems. The CM had a decent item selection throughout the whole game, but Luna, Bloodseeker, and Bristleback, these are not heroes that you want to build a Moon Shard on. You need stuff like AC, Basher, Casual Abyssal Blade. For Luna, you really want stuff like Manta Style, really, to help you survive and get more glaives spinning around. The story of this game was that it was Hub Support Simulator's game to lose, and they lost it. Default hardbots were there to punish the mistakes, but outside of the CK and the Tiny, they probably deserved to lose this game. Once they got Raxed, it should have been the beginning of the end, but they just kept committing to the pushes, and Pub Sport Simulator did not commit to the defense or the offense, and in the end, the throne fell for them. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see what happens in the final round of Group D, and we'll finally know who's in the playoffs. Thank you for joining me. Bye.